All right, everyone, I think we'll get going because it's 2 minutes after. And if a few more people join, we will have them join also. Thank you all for joining us today for a fun back to the office lunch and learn. Hopefully it's informative, interactive, and I don't know, keeps us busy for our lunch hour. On that note, we just have a few things to cover. Oops, there we go. So first thing we're going to do is we'll do some introductions and icebreakers. This is a small group and it's nice to see everybody's faces. And unmute yourself when it's time to talk. And then we can go on from there. We'll do some quick introductions so we can see everyone and get to know everyone, because it's a nice little intimate group. Then we'll talk about some outcomes and objectives. We'll go through surveying, talk about teleworking, tax exempt benefits, safety on transit, and van pooling. And then we'll do a fun breakout section and kind of talk about what's been working, not working for people, and see if anybody has some brilliant ideas, and then go from there. So I hope everybody's ready. Okay, so Jillian Knapp Rhodes, I am the Programs and Outreach Specialist for Commuting Solutions. Marjorie, why don't you go?
Thanks. Hi, I'm Marjorie Gavin. I just am a new team member at Commuting Solutions. I just started about a month ago, and I'm the Member Experience Coordinator. Nice to meet all of you, to see all of you guys.
David, how about you go?
Hi, I'm David Canfield from Clinic of Family Health, and I got involved working with this group when I was coordinating Bike to Work Day a couple of years ago, or last time we did it. I was the coordinator for our organization. I'm a big believer in getting out of single car commuting.
Good to see you, David. How about you, Lisa?
Hey, good morning, everyone, or afternoon. I've been working at our CDOT Office of Innovative Mobility, and I've been leading up our Return to Work campaign for employee TDM. So I would love to hear your ideas, and I'm happy to share some of the things that we've done to date at CDOT.
Great. Audrey, you want to go?
Sure, I'm happy to. I am Audrey DeBarros, Executive Director of Commuting Solutions. Nice to see you all. Thanks for being here.
Greg, how about you?
Hi, I'm Greg Tantum. I work at Night Eyes. I'm on the green team out here, and I'm interested in alternative modes of transportation to get our employees to work. I'm also an avid cyclist, and I ride my bike everywhere to work, running errands, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just curious to hear some more.
Welcome.
Thank
Glad
you.
to have a new face. Natalie.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Good to see you. I'm Natalie Hantos with RTD Service Development. I'm lead for North Team, so anything north of I-70 within the RTD district in regards to transit fixed route. And I've been connected to Commuting Solutions since its beginning, since Audrey and I used to work together at Go Boulder back in the days. We go back a ways. Glad to be part of the group.
Excellent. Hey, Christina, you want to go?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Christina Pritchett, and I'm the Marketing Coordinator for Commuting Solutions. It's nice to see everyone.
Curtis, how about you go?
So thanks. Hello, everyone. I'm Curtis Walker, a transportation research scientist at the National Center for Atmospheric Research in Boulder. And new to this group, kind of just a transportation enthusiast, but also interested in climate, kind of resilient adaptation solutions for mobility.
And Mr. Ryder, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Doug Ryder. I'm with the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment. And for 7 years, I was an exclusive bus rider to the to my place of work. And but when I got relocated last year in March to home, I decided, you know, it really would be nice not to have to commute at all. So I'm hopeful that will be a permanent solution, and we'll see.
Excellent. Well, fantastic. Thank you, everyone. So kind of our goal for the day is, you know, get through a collective group of ideas, share experiences, brainstorm from ideas and solutions at the end, give you guys a bunch of information of what we've collected and what we know, and then hopefully give you some tools to take back to your places of work and build thriving community programs. Throughout the presentation and Lunch and Learn, we have one of our new favorite tools is to do polling. And it's kind of a good way to kind of see what everybody else is thinking and feeling and not just stare at a screen by yourself all day. So either on your phone or in your web browser, if you type in the link that's in the bottom on the left phone, that will get you there. And then it'll ask you for an event, and it's 22333. We'll give everybody a second to get all their info in there. Okay, everybody good? Hoping so. Here we go.
Sorry, Jillian, could you say the number again? Was it 22333?
223, yeah. Yeah, okay, 2 2s and 3 3s.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. Could make that easier, right? A little weird. Okay. So for a fun, easy one to get everybody going and learning is, how are you feeling today? Why is it not showing up? Oh, well, it's kind of hard to see, which is kind of sad, but we have a lot of green, so that's good. I'm glad we don't have any sad people. It's good. Fantastic. Everybody's in a good mood. All right. So, all right. Why isn't that going? Ruh-roh. Oh, geez. All right, hang on. We got to go back. All right.
I saw a couple new, oh, never mind. Go ahead, Jillian.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Christina. What?
I was just saying a couple new people joined. I don't know if they want to just quickly add their name and company to the chat so we can all say hello.
Yeah, we can introduce them real fast and get them on point. We can go back for a sec. All right. Welcome, Latoya. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Latoya Pranti, and I'm with Dr. Mac. That's the Denver Regional Mobility and Access Council. And actually, I am their travel training program manager who does the travel training for RTD as well as Lyft. So that's me, guys.
Excellent. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Sarah, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure.
Oh.
I don't know if I'm showing up or not. I don't see. Okay.
You are. We see you.
Okay. Yes, Sarah Michaels with Boulder Bee Cycle, the only and local decades-old micromobility bike share system in Boulder, Colorado. I am Director of Marketing and Communications.
Excellent. All right. So for those that just joined, we are doing polling again if you haven't done it. And if you go to polev.com and type in Jillian Knapp 728, you know, put it back on the screen again. Hopefully everybody can see it. Yeah. Right? Is that the one we're seeing? Okay. And if you type in 22333, that gets you to our polling doodad. Okay. Give you guys just a quick second. Sorry, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Okay. So, next question. My company has returned to the office. We're all in 100% of the time. We are all back together all the time. Yay. B, it's hybrid, 25 to 75% of the time back in the office, still at home sweet home, have not returned to work. And we are the mighty essential workers and remained at the office through the pandemic.
Yeah, this is David. Just kind of a comment on that.
Yeah.
Our organization, some of the people fall into each of the different categories. We have, since we're a medical clinic, we have people who never left. We have other people who are back full time, people like me who are hybrid, and some people who have decided they will never come back to work in the office. So it's kind of hard to put our whole organization into one of those four categories because some of the people in the organization fit into each of the categories.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some of that too. So, excellent.
Right, Jillian, the same applies for RTD, where we have obviously essential staff that have to continue to come in, and then the rest is a mix, mostly still working from home.
Yeah. Any other? Okay, for those of you who have not returned to the office, is there a projected return date for you? Don't know yet, next 3 months, 3 to 6 months, 6+ months. We've heard some people are not going back until January still. Gosh, you guys are fast. I'm impressed. All right, well, still a lot of unknowns. So we'll be preparing for those. So, all right. Oh,
it's
one more.
Difficult time getting on there, so I'm just going to say it for you guys. But we're not going back to work at all. I mean, not in the office. We're actually just going to stay home.
Oh, okay. Getting stuck. Oh, I'm getting frustrated. Okay. All right. All right. Well, based on that, one of the things.
Sorry, Latoya, which business are you at? I'm just wondering.
We're with Dr. Mack.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I hope RTD follows suit as best as we can.
So one of the key things that we have found that truly helps build a community plan and returning people back to the office is the survey, and how impactful surveys can be and how unimpactful surveys can be if they're not well done. So we're going to kind of talk a little bit about that going forward. Surveying gives, and I've seen good ones and I've seen bad ones. So employees a voice, and if it's written correctly and you have the questions and the information that you really want to know, and even one of the ones that you don't want to know, like there's some answers that you don't probably want the answer to, but you should ask that question anyways, good or bad. That'll increase your engagement with your employees. It'll increase the effectiveness of any community plans that you have or programs. And where we come in is what you all need is we can help customize solutions that meet everybody's goals. The big conversation every day now, a lot is employee engagement. And this is one of those areas of which you can help your employees, change their commute, change it not being a long commute, whatever that may be, and reduce financial stress in the process because it's been a long and challenging year for everyone. Okay, everyone, it's a word one. So describe your experiences with survey. Good, bad, ugly, my favorite thing to do. Interesting. I'm dying to know who says I requested to do complete summary that I really do them. Yeah. Okay. Very good point. Excellent. See if there's anybody else. So those that wrote, oops. Oh, it disappeared. Where'd it go? I can't see the result. I can't get to it. Does anyone want to comment or on their answers? There were some good ones.
So I'm actually a social worker, and my favorite part about it is more like policy numbers. I'm like a science nerd as well, so I like numbers. I like to see things. And so when it comes to surveys, it does bother me that I don't get to see the results. So it would be nice to, you know, be able to have the opportunity, but I do like doing surveys for the most part. I used to not until I had to start doing them and I really needed them being completed. And then I started like doing everybody's surveys just because I know they're in, so.
Okay. Come on. Oh, it did again. Okay. So a lot of the comments which I expected to hear was I don't get results, which that's really important to really share with what people say. It was always my frustrating thing when they take surveys, you're like, I don't know what. Obviously share. But to make them effective, you know, think about who your audience is, and especially when we were talking about, you know, returning to the office, if it's, you know, not only the transportation options, but, you know, comfortability, feeling going back to the office, what needs they may need when they go back to the office is, and then, you know, obviously the big question is make it short and sweet. Like, you know, nobody wants to be sitting taking a survey for more than 5 minutes out of their day. But I think, you know, deciding, you know, everyone's going to participate. If it's different surveys that need to go to different people, can it be streamlined to who answers them and what do they get different types of questions? You know, all those kind of things kind of go into that perspective. Okay. So we've all been working from home and we'll start going back to some returning to the office. How was that experience for everyone? Okay, that's good. So we've had a good experience so far, or as best as it can be, almost 50-50. Okay, so obviously this will probably be moving forward, and it's a new world that we live in terms of hybrid / fully working from home, but you know, continue to allow all your, you know, keep it going. Like, it's a great thing to keep working on. Invest in the technology that you need. If you haven't already established formal policies, when this was a great suggestion and I loved it and wish this had happened sooner, but you know, if there is issues with troubleshooting, like set up a group that can help troubleshoot those ideas instead of just leaving certain groups to figure it out, because each person's experience is different, and a process of which to troubleshoot. So if it's a Teams issue, or if it was a Zoom issue, or you know, so-and-so can only get on certain types of phone calls, what that may be because of their connectivity. And then, you know, focus on, you know, what the results are. And so, you know, I think it's setting clear expectations by managers and, you know, employees to just keep encouraging the collaboration, because it's going to be ever changing, and keeping that positivity with it. So on the employee side, if you're on the other side and helping, you know, the employer try to, you know, get to that point, is communication, you know, constantly staying connecting and, you know, encouraging people how to communicate, establishing a routine and a schedule that works, and stay with that your routine, staying active. I can guarantee you I need to get more active. thanks to COVID, but that's okay. And, you know, changing your environment, like moving around, going to different locations. I like to hide in the basement once in a while, so that's good. If you have not put together a telework policy, or if you have, what kind of needs to look at like, and what kind of is really important to it. And a lot of this comes from Dr. Cog and the Telework Tomorrow program, and also what ACT has put together, but a strong objective of what that looks like. And these are super abbreviated versions of what that could be. And if you guys want the full details of a good telework policy, let me know and I'll get it to you. But a really, you know, hard-hitting objective that kind of explains everything that and who, so forth. Detailed procedures in terms of arrangements and so forth, and if it needs to be specific to each employee, how that gets handled between, you know, supervisors and employees, who is eligible, making that clear. And, you know, because we have multiple different kinds of companies and agencies that have, you know, essential employees that can't telecommute because they ride a bus, they are landscapers, whatever they may be, type of situation. And putting specifications and appropriate equipment of what will be provided, et cetera, and making sure everybody has what they need to work effectively from home. Security, obviously that one's probably one in everyone's books already, is cybersecurity in terms of what can and cannot be used for, et cetera. Safety was another good one to throw in of, you know, making sure you're safe at home because you're not, you know, OSHA still applies, but making sure you have no hazards. And keeping time worked documented, you know, following Fair Labor Standards Act. Does anybody have questions about surveying, or not surveying, telecommuting or surveying yet? Okay. Another one I wanted to throw out to the world was the transit tax benefit. And usually we only think about this around tax season, that's either too late or too early right at that moment, but something to keep in mind as building, you know, employee engagement and also, you know, a positive backbone to any program is, you know, there is tax benefits to using transit and using as a pre-tax dollar and putting that as a benefit into employees. You know, it could be anywhere up to $900 a month for someone. So,
Jillian, would we also include...
That was too fast.
Oh, sorry. So I'll go back to transit. So typically there's 30% saved by employees when they choose to set aside money for pre-tax commuter benefits. So there's multiple ways you can do that. And we can talk about how to do that. But if you are not setting up an EcoPass or you want to help fund their van pool or so forth, there's ways to do that in terms of also parking. And then it just varies also because of RTD's EcoPass, but it's just an alternative way to think of another savings besides HSA, FSA to give pre-tax dollars back to employees.
Are there any on this call who have that set up right now?
Oh, I didn't understand you, Lisa.
Are any companies on the phone right now who have this set up? The transit tax benefit, because it's like a healthcare savings account. And I just wanted to know if anyone's actively doing that right now.
I don't think so. Not that I know of, but I can connect.
We don't have it at CDOT, and I was just curious how it was going. I'd love to talk to someone.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Okay. All right. So safety on transit, this is obviously a big conversation that people think is an issue, that people aren't returning to buses and trains because of safety issues. APTA released a study in September that there is truly, this is the long list of it, no direct correlation between use of public transportation and COVID transmission. So there's not been a long term, they found nothing that tied together. And it's in multiple cities. I don't remember the guy's name right now. I had it in front of me, but I don't even know. I can't remember this gentleman's name. They're still recommending that mask wearing is the most effective way to, reduce person-to-person contact. And that's kind of the big gist of that. All right. And that more has to do with what you do before and after your trips on a bus or a train. Also,
so Jillian, I think we should point out how much of a challenge that is to get people back on transit. I can tell you that within the RTD agency, we have people who don't want to get on the bus. I have people within my group at service development. We're the ones who write the schedules of people who don't want to get back on a bus yet and who are worried about the capacity restrictions having been lifted, even though we're all happy about them being lifted so that we can allow for more capacity and service to people. And due to the resource challenges that we have, we really can't add more. We need the higher capacity. But I think everybody goes over that, and we provide the information in the public hearings as well, and all slides when we do some presentation to the public or communities, et cetera, et cetera. Yet I think we all need to give this a little bit more thought. This sits very deep. The fear that's there, and yes, the studies have been done, but for whatever reason, people are not comfortable getting back on the bus, and not quite sure why. I can't even get it out of our own people, but it's a huge challenge.
If I may, so I actually do travel training. I teach people how to use RTD and Lyft services. And part of that is not only am I showing the community solution videos on how to ride safely during COVID, I also show them the videos on what they're doing to clean their services. I ask questions before I start my trainings. And in every training, I do 4 trainings for an hour each. And in every training, I talk about safety. I talk about the safety during COVID. I talk about safety when we have the RTD police transit there. I talk about all the 12,000 different cameras they have available throughout their stations. I really talk a lot about safety, even while traveling, how to get on and off the buses, right? How to even do it, because a lot of it is a fear of not even knowing how to do it. So I step-by-step them through everything, trip planner, next ride, mobiling app. So I actually will get on my phone and I will show them how to do that. In real time. So these have been really successful. I've actually trained over 200 people since January. Actually, I'm already at 250. And so with my program, it's been really successful, and we're reaching a lot of people and with all spectrums. So I can say for personal experience, the biggest fear is, you're right, it is COVID, and being able to overcome that part by showing them what the service lines are doing for them, as well as how to travel right, has been successful with that, just so you know. Sorry.
No, great. And I'm glad to hear that. And that's awesome. And perhaps that's where we need to hook in a little bit more and see how can we get the word out, and how can we, what is it? Perhaps, I know you have the videos, Commuting Solutions put the videos together. I know they've shared it with RTD there, but there's something there that's keeping people from riding. And how do we really get the word out and let people know, hey, it's safe, right? We have not had the incidences. It's okay to ride. People, I know that there are people that are very afraid to go back to work into the office because they will have to use transit. I was putting it out there, just it's a hurdle, and not quite sure how to get above that.
Maybe it's a conversation between Natalie and I afterwards, but what if it is where people are still going versus why they won't get on a bus? Like, if they don't have that reason to go where they need to, if they're not commuting right now along 36 or whatever, I don't know. It's tough.
Right, and that's part of why people are not riding, absolutely. And as we go back partially into office, we all know the ridership's not going to be the same as it was before. Is it ever going to be the same as it was before? Probably not, because things have changed. You're going to have a larger group of people continue to work from home, even if it's alternate 1, 2, 3 days a week, etc. Different commuting hours, so to say, are probably going to be in place. You're going to have some sort of a rush hour, yet reduced. So yes, there are less people riding in general, yet there are people, we get this, I have to get back into the office. I'm going to have to go back in September, but I'm afraid. Like I said, I have in our own group, we have people, and it doesn't, it's almost, you know, what do you say to them? I mean, it's safe. I'm on the bus and there's nothing there. We have had no cases. So
yeah.
not hit the marketing on that, or how to emphasize that it's really, really safe. What is it going to take? I don't know.
All right, well, we'll put our thinking caps on that. Maybe we'll come some ideas. All right, so with that, just some cool things that I found about ventilation systems on buses, which I thought was super cool. And we'll still help Natalie try to figure out how we can get people back on buses. But every 1 to 2 minutes, the air is filtered, and every 4 minutes fully replaced with fresh air. And that ventilation is 5 times more frequent on transit than it is in the average office. So think about that when you're sitting next to somebody. Okay. Oh, geez, why is it not? There we go. RTD still has a mandatory mask policy, which will be in effect until September 17th, I believe, somewhere around there. They're distributing masks to employees, and they have expanded their vehicle and facility cleaning to sanitize every vehicle daily. So there's great videos and information on that you can also share and find and help you with. So some people are still working on bringing back carpools and van pools, and the challenge for the service providers is that, you know, they're waiting for people to return to the office and so forth. But with that, if you do have a carpool or a van pool, obviously talk to the employees, create, you know, different scheduling if that's possible, so that the A's and the B's can go at different times, provide subsidies, obviously, be flexible with capacity to help people's comfort levels, and communicate with the providers of what they can do. And obviously they are cleaning as regularly and frequently as they possibly can. But the big, you know, key to this is the communication portion, as always, of, you know, who and how can we get more people into cars and van pools, and if it needs to be a few extras, adding a subsidy to help offset the cost for increasing the number to increase, you know, less capacity but more frequent vehicles. So that being said, we're kind of gone through a little bit quickly, but we have a breakout room we can open discussion up later for the group. And the way this is going to work is I'm going to do 12 people plus a bunch of us. So we'll do 2 breakout rooms instead of 3. And in there is going to be I have everybody open up a Jamboard. So I'm going to put a link in the chat right now for everyone to click on. And when we break out to the breakout rooms, you'll be able to see live kind of comments and notes. Myself and Audrey will facilitate 2 of the groups and get us going, unless Christina wants to do one. And then we'll just watch the time and get back out of our breakout rooms. Is everybody good with that? And I will automatically put you guys into rooms. Okay. Make sure everyone gets this. All right, there is that. Will everybody grab the link? And then I will put us into breakout rooms in just a minute. Okay. One second. Okay, you should be going to rooms in just a minute. All right, so my first breakout room did not work well, so give me a minute. We're gonna go back to put everybody back in them again, and I gotta figure out how or why. It did not last
This
that
must
long.
be one of those scheduling things where instead of 20 minutes, you put 2 minutes. No.
Yeah, I did, and we will, you know what, because of this, we'll add a little bit more time and give everybody a full 10 minutes now. That would be a good thing to hit the options button. So thank you guys for being patient and cooperative with me. And we will make it work. Okay, now we're going back to the same groups.
Thank you.
Sorry. Okay. Did I get my group back? Yay, okay. So, all right. I was putting, what was I talking about? I was gonna put, person.
What our challenges were.
Yeah, socialization.
And I was just saying we use Google. We use the Google Google platform.
Okay.
Meetings. So I mean, it's fine. It's just that, you know, it's definitely not the same as being in person with people, staying on top of little things, but it was fine.
Okay. Does anybody have current challenges that they would like to chat about, or still some more from pandemic time? Not that we're not out of it, but I'm just saying, you know.
Uh-oh, it's just you and I?
Uh-oh, what happened?
We lost everyone. I mean, that's okay. I'm just...
Let me join that again, hang on. Hey, everyone. Oops, cancel. All right, how is everybody's group? Other group, how are you? Audrey.
Our group is great. You know, a couple of the participants come from the government sector, larger, very large organizations, so more bureaucratic in nature, slower moving and large. And so they just have a lot to contemplate around, you know, pivots due to COVID, I would say. I think people are looking to technology like MS Teams to maintain relationships and to collaborate throughout the workday in an informal chat field. So using technology, you know, exploring hybrid solutions like all of us are, you know, the whole idea of, you know, flex spaces or hot desks. There's some concern around hygiene and from a safety perspective. So I just think, you know, folks are just figuring it out. We've never been in this situation before. So the size of the business and the type of business, whether it's public, private, government sector, I think really, you know, leads to how flexible or creative perhaps that business is or organization is to respond.
I think it was some similar stuff there. I mean, obviously our group also added a few more fun things that talking about making, well, if they remain home or someone's still there, constant communication in terms of either like for us, like team huddles or one group, you know, group met every day for an hour, but they've cut that back to just twice a week to have a full group meeting to catch up on what everybody's working on to make sure everyone's staying on point. You know, obviously the big keys were staying in constant communication, that we're working really good for them with our fellow employees. And then, you know, obviously the big challenges are, you know, still not seeing people necessarily and how that would be great to get back there. And some of the solutions were talking about, you know, activities or team building, just to be able to reconnect in person versus just via a screen. And then one other big challenge that one of our folks had was the messaging to help get people to come back to the office for those who just want to stay home, because it was working so well for them, to keep, you know, part of the office atmosphere together. So I think that was great. Thank you guys for A, being patient, and B, being patient, and all the, you know, suggestions, and everyone participating. It was fantastic. I loved it. Okay. So I have to change one more screen. Okay. So thank you for participating groups. Hope it was helpful. Things, if you guys want help from us, obviously, what our purpose in life is to give employer transportation consultations, but we can also help with surveys, with how to get the surveys out, dot maps to get, you know, we look at van pooling, do lunch and learns, you know, virtually or in person, commute planning, and help with incentives. And okay, does anybody have any questions or comments before we head out? We've got about 5 minutes left for anybody who wants to share any last minute epiphanies or thoughts. Okay, last but not least, we have our next WUCA meeting is July 15th from 10 to 11 a.m. July 29th, we have a bike to work day planning meeting from 12 to 1. Start talking about bike to work day, and all that information is coming in daily. And then last but not least, our fun day to talk about in the future is bike to work day. So, woo-hoo, in person on bikes. It's going to be great. And yeah, so thank you guys.